a very good evening to all of you. So recently I got a lot of queries from students asking me whether they should join a institute for PhD or whether they should join a B institute for PhD. So before I answer this question, first of all, I would just like to tell you guys that, the institute is not the primary reason on which you decide whether you want to do a PhD from that A institute or whether you should do the PhD from that B institute, right? The primary reason that matters is the potential supervisor that you're going to choose. So this is the primary reason on which you decide whether you want to do the PhD from A or a B institute or a C institute, whatever it might be. Now you might be asking me that why is the institute not a primary reason? Because obviously if the institute is good, if the institute is recognized, there will be a lot of funding, there will be there will be no problem of instrumentation, the infrastructure would be good, so obviously the research is going to be good. But it is not that simple. So let me just elaborate on this aspect. So when I say that you have to decide on the basis of your potential supervisor, that is because if your supervisor, first of all, has to be working in your area of interest, right? Whatever is your area of interest, you should be, and you and your supervisor should be having a similar kind of interest. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is, first of all, a lot of students would be asking me that how to get the research experience, because in India, unfortunately, not a lot of universities and institutes in their masters offer research experience, right? There are very few handful of universities and institutes which actually offer the research experience. Getting a research experience is very, very important. Why is that? Because only on that basis you can really say that what is your field of interest, and more importantly, whether you really want to do research or not, because theoretically research is very different than, when we talk about research practically, right? So first of all, I would personally advise you guys to get some research experience either through a summer internship, okay, during your masters and bachelors, or after your masters. I would recommend that if you are basically planning to get a PhD, I'm sure that you might be having either a GATE qualification or a NET qualification. So before joining as a PhD, you can work as a project fellow. Okay, so there are a lot of opportunities that keep coming up related to project fellow. I have made a video on what exactly is a project fellow, so you can find the link somewhere over here regarding the project fellow, like how to get the position, what exactly is a project fellow. And I've also made a detailed video on how to choose the potential supervisor. For that, you can see the link over here. This is going to be a short and crisp video which I'll try to keep under 10 minutes. So like I said, that the potential supervisor is of utmost importance. And then how do you choose a potential supervisor? The first thing that you really need to see is that whether your research interests match or not, or whether that particular supervisor, whether he or she is working in the same area where you're interested in. Then the second aspect is whether your potential supervisor and you are a good fit. Okay, what I mean by that is, for example, there are many different kinds of supervisors and there are many different kinds of PhD candidates. So depending upon your working style, okay, what you like, do you like some flexibility, or are you someone who likes to be given deadlines? Okay, are you an aggressive worker, or are you, a bit chilled out or a relaxed worker? So accordingly, your supervisor and you should have a good fit. So what you really need to do for this is you need to know from where your supervisor is coming from. Okay, what I mean by that is you should get to know about his or her nature, his or her working style, so that you both, like I said, could be a good fit. Now another important aspect is the research profile of that potential supervisor. Okay, because if the research profile of that supervisor is decent or good, so what that will tell you is it does not matter from which institute they belong to, they have the required access to the instruments which can basically lead to good research. Now why the institute over here does not matter, because maybe supervisors have their individual funding, they have individual projects, right? So they can procure instruments for themselves or for their lab work or for their laboratory. So basically it does not matter whether they belong to let's say an institute which gets less funding, because individually if that professor is getting good funding, then he might be having all the required instruments. Secondly, maybe he or she might have the basic instruments to do the research, and for the advanced you can say characterization of various compounds that you might synthesize in your laboratory, for that maybe they have collaborations with other institutes where things can be done easily. I'll give you one example. If I am doing research in organic chemistry, the basic things I would require is HRMS, that is mass spectrometry instrument for that, and then I would require a NMR, basic NMR, proton NMR, and 13C NMR. So these are my basic requirements. Now, if I want to do a single crystal XRD, if my supervisor has good contacts with potential institutes where the single crystal XRD analysis can be done, then obviously that is not a problem. In masters and in bachelors, institute plays a bigger role, because obviously over there the curriculum is quite similar, and that's why in masters, like for example IITs and IISERs have a certain brand value associated with them. But when it comes to PhD, it is more about your own profile, your own work. Okay, the institute over there does not matter much. If you are doing good work, you would be recognized irrespective of which institute you are basically pursuing your PhD from. Now, one important aspect that I also wanted to highlight is, for example, if someone has CSIR, JRF, or they have their own fellowship of whatever kind it might be, so they have this flexibility that they can approach multiple supervisors in different institutes and they can choose where they want to do a PhD. Sometimes what happens with students from who are just GATE qualified, okay, so what happens is they are very desperate to get into a PhD. So even if a potential supervisor is there who has offered them a PhD position, and that particular supervisor is not really working in the field of your interest, they kind of still join him or her, right? Now that is a very, very big and a drastic step, okay, because I have seen many students leaving PhD after 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years also, because they were not getting interest in that particular subject. So I would request those students who have just qualified GATE and they are getting maybe a PhD position in some particular institute, but because they don't have their own fellowship, whosoever is offering them a PhD position, they are going for that particular supervisor. That is not the right thing to do. Okay, I would suggest that whenever you're going for the institute, going to a particular institute for an interview, even if you're GATE qualified and you don't have your own fellowship, I would request all of you to approach a particular professor beforehand. For example, if your area of research or if your field of interest is, let's say, electrochemistry, so decide in the institutes. First of all, not every institute might have a supervisor or a professor working in the field of electrochemistry. So then you need to see first of all where or in which institutes is electrochemistry being pursued by a particular by a potential supervisor. Then you shortlist those institutes and then apply for PhD to those institutes, and then beforehand email the particular professor you're interested in and tell them that you have interest in electrochemistry, and basically you would be coming for the interview, and just inform him or her about your interview date, that you are coming for the interview on so and so date and you are interested in their interested in working with them. So this you can put up an email and that will really help you. So you should pitch in and you should actually go to that particular supervisor only. Okay, you should not go to any other whosoever is offering you a PhD. Now for those students who are actually trying to qualify CSIR, JRF, I am teaching live on Unacademy, and I have recently started a batch course where I have started teaching complete organic chemistry for CSIR NET December 2020, and obviously now for the June 2020 examination. So those of you who are interested can go through this 1-minute clip.
Hey guys, so I'm a verified educator on Unacademy, and along with that I'm also available on the Unacademy Plus platform, where I'm taking live classes along with other educators. So in case you're interested in attending the live classes, you can subscribe to the Unacademy Plus platform using my referral code, that is SETHI, and that will give you 10% discount. Alright, and in case you're not interested in attending the live classes, you can watch the free courses that are available on the Unacademy. For that, all you need to do is go to the Unacademy website or download the Unacademy Learning app and search my name over there, that is SETHI. Once you do that, you will get the access to all the free courses that are available on the Unacademy platform. Alright.
Now, why did I say the institute and instrumentation does not matter much? So the instrumentation part I have already basically discussed with all of you. But when I talk about the institute, so in masters and in bachelors, what happens is that, like I said, individual institutes have a particular brand value associated with them, which kind of give you a added advantage, like for example IITs and IISERs, which we discussed. But when it comes to PhD, basically what happens is after PhD, more likely you are going to do a postdoctorate. So over there, for getting into a postdoctorate, obviously your research profile has to be really good, and along with that, the recommendations matter a lot as well. So if your supervisor, irrespective of which institute they belong to, they are well recognized in their field, over there the the affiliation of the institute does not matter that much. It does matter obviously to a small extent, but not that much, right? That's why I'm rating it very low. Like, the institute is the last thing that you really need to worry about. So over there, the academic qualification in the research community, the standing of a scientist or the standing of a professor depends upon their research profile. All right, so you should be, if your supervisor has a recognized research profile, then it does not matter from which institute they belong. So I would just like to summarize what we have discussed till now. First thing that you really need to see is the area of your interest, whether the area of your interest and the area of research of your supervisor match, right? The second thing you need to see is whether they are a good fit. The third thing that you really need to worry about, or you need to find out, is you should talk to the PhDs and postdoctorates already working in the lab to get to know the nature of the supervisor. Like this is a continuation of the second point itself. Then the third point, which I would say, which is different from the second point, is that how is the research profile? So when you talk about the research profile, I have given some inputs in this particular video. You can click on this video and see. The last thing that you really need to worry about is the institute. Okay, that is the very last factor that you really need to worry about.